Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And today, for you guys, is another massive Marvel MCU video. Now, we recently talked about Deadpool 3, aka Deadpool and Wolverine, which is coming out in, I believe, July 26th. And I thought that was it. You know, we had the Super Bowl, and we get this stuff, and then boom, that's it, we're done. And then, lo and behold, we get a Fantastic Four reboot casting in the MCU. Now, this is a big deal for a lot of reasons. First of all, I'm going to go over who is who, and we'll get to that. But we have Pedro Pascal playing Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. Of course, Pedro Pascal was in Wonder Woman 1984, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, Mandalorian, and some other stuff as well. So yeah, I mean, he's a pretty, I don't want to say prolific actor, but he's in a lot of good stuff now. I don't know if I would have picked him, but he's a good actor, I guess, so it should work. We have Vanessa Kirby, which I don't know who she is. I know she's in one of the Mission Impossible. I think she's in Dead Reckoning Part 1, which, don't worry, I'll get to that soon. Those movie reviews are still happening, so don't worry. I'm tackling Rogue Nation here very soon. But she is playing Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. And then we have Joseph Quinn, which I've never heard of in my entire life. I don't have Netflix. I had Netflix for about a month when Ninjago Dragons Rising was coming out, and then it declined for some reason. So here we are. But apparently he is in Stranger Things. I have not seen any of that. But apparently he's in that. Apparently he's pretty good. And then we have, I'm going to totally F this guy's name up, but it's Ebon Bashrak. I don't know. That guy. He's the guy from Andor. He's one of the guys from Andor. Apparently he's in other stuff too. All I know him is from Andor. But he's playing the Thing. So, yeah, I mean, look. It's when we got the news, on Valentine's Day, it was kind of presented in a 60s-esque type of, maybe even 50s, something like that. Some early-ish, not early-ish, like a while ago stuff, you know what I mean? I wasn't around for that kind of stuff, but apparently that's how it looked aesthetically, and that's kind of what they're going with in terms of this new film. Now, I'm excited for that, because when I think of the Fantastic Four, a part of me thinks of what we've been getting, which is like, destroyed cities and gritty and all that, and, that's fine. But when I really, really boil it down, and you go, franchise, think of Fantastic, what do you think of? I think of Lego Marvel, which is what you're seeing, by the way, and I also think of that time period. I think of, Fallout 4, before the nuke hits, where they got Cogsworth or whatever the fudge his name is or whatever. That's from Transformers. The freaking robot from Fallout 4, I think of that type of, time period, and I think that's really cool, and I'm glad that they're doing that. I am glad that it is kind of presented in I think it was a good way to present that, basically, in a Valentine's Day kind of, way. Reed and Sue were kind of dancing or whatever, and you get Johnny and Ben just kind of hanging out and whatever. I think it's cool. And, yeah, like they even said, Marvel's First Family coming out in 2025. So this is crazy, because not only do we have, official confirmation, of course, I believe the SAG-AFTRA, or whatever the fudge it's called, the strike thing that was happening a while ago, Pedro Pascal was like mentioned in like a thing. It kind of got leaked. And he was like, hey, he's playing Reed. And I think the guy like deleted his Instagram or his Twitter or whatever. And I think he died. I think Kevin Feige killed him. But I can't confirm or deny that. I'm assuming that's what happened. Kevin and his snipers got him. But I do think that it is interesting to see that that's real. Because, we saw Reed Richards throughout the years, we've seen the original, which is pretty much impossible to see. I know, like, Mr. Sunday Movies did a video on it, and, other YouTubers, they kind of, covered it more extensively. I haven't seen that. The really, really old one looks like poop. I'm probably not going to see it. But watch them be like, this is canon, actually. This is part of the multiverse. Watch me see one of the original guys. If any of them are still alive, they'll come back for this. It's going to be great. Or maybe they'll be in Deadpool 3. And then we also got the Ian McGruffin version or whatever from the two Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer, which I think that is probably the best choice for Reed. Straight up. Miles Teller in Fant Four Stick, whatever you want to call that one. Look, I'm going to be straight with you guys. I don't hate that movie. I have it on Blu-ray. I bought it for like $2, all right? So I didn't like spend that much money on it, but I don't hate that movie, okay? Like, I don't. It's not good. Okay, like, I'm not gonna pretend it's, like, a masterpiece or some shit, but, like, it's not bad, you know what I mean? Like, I watched it, and I was like, alright, it's not good, but I watched it, like, I didn't, like, turn it off or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's a watchable film, and that's, I think, the issue with these movies, which we'll get into, and then, of course, we've got, the John Krasinski version in Multiverse of Madness, which, that is canon, because it's part of the multiverse, except he got turned into shredded cheese. But besides that, it's whatever. But that, like, come on, guys. Like, I know Pedro Pascal's a big name right now and all that, but, like, let's be honest here. John Krasinski is the ideal choice. If it's not Ion Gruffit or whatever, it's that guy for sure. And I think that, there's a lot of controversy over this. Because of well, it's a skin color. Now that's not a racist thing. A lot of comic book fans get mad, including myself, when you have a character who is white or black or Mexican or Asian or whatever, and then they just change it for no reason other than diversity. And maybe, I'm not saying Pedro Pascal is a complete dark-skinned guy, but, he's not. When I think of Reed Richards, I think of a pasty, ghost, white-skinned motherfudger. You know what I mean? I don't think of Pedro Pascal from Kingsman or whatever, So, look, he's a good actor, and I'm sure he'll effing kill it. But at the same time, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like Black Johnny Storm and Fan Forstick, he did a good job. Like, he's a good actor. I think, whatever his name is, Michael B. Jordan, he's good. Like, he was fine in that role. Was I mad that they race swapped him for no reason? Yeah, but I'm not that mad because at the end of the day, he gave a good performance. Same with, James Gordon in The Batman. They made him, he's white and they made him black, but that version of James Gordon is my favorite version of Gordon. So, again, don't twist my words and comment some dumb shit in the comments like, you're racist. Like, no, it's got nothing to do with that. I just like a, good representation of what we're used to. They did it with Ariel. They're probably going to do it with a million other things. They're just race swapping to hell and back. They do it every 5 seconds of the day. You're sleeping, and they're race swapping you. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Now, I'm all for diversity if it works. You know what I mean? This is going to be a woke lecture video, but, like, if they picked Pedro Pascal, I hope they picked him because he's good in that role and not just picked him because of a certain box that they had to tick. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm sure he'll do great because he's good in everything I've seen him in. But, again, man, why did they have to kill John Krasinski? He's like the perfect Mr. Fantastic. Anyway, this is not going to sway my version or, my opinion over the movie. I'm still going to watch it. I'm not one of those guys that makes clickbait videos saying, he's not pure white, so I'm not watching it. Like, no, I was a bit mad that they did that because I'm like, all right, just get like any other white guy. But at the same time, like, he's a good actor, and I think he's going to kill it. So I had to bring it up because the whole internet's talking about it. Like, everyone's freaking out. But, again, I do think that he is good in everything I've seen him in, so I really don't have that much to complain about other than the fact that initially I was kind of upset that everyone's getting race swapped nowadays. Not even if they're that good. It's just because they have to now. That, they got to tick that box, make the people happy. But I really, really pray he does a good job, and I'm sure he will. Everyone else, though, looks fine. Although when I did see that picture, it does look pretty cool. Like him as Mr. Fantastic with Sue. I think it's pretty cool. Because, when those leaks happened, it was like, oh, man, how's this going to work? Oh, I don't know about that. And the whole internet was, freaking out over John and whatever. But it should be fine. I'm excited for it. I think that the internet having a hissy fit over it is blowing it out of proportion. Again, when I first heard the news, I was a little bit upset because, again, I just like stuff to be how it is. But, you get the one end of the spectrum who's like, no, if you hate it, you're horrible. And then if you love it, you're horrible. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm like, pick someone who can do a good job at something. I don't care if they're black, white, purple, green, a dinosaur from hell. I don't care. You know what I mean? If they're an alien, if they pick Invader Zim to play Mr. Fantastic, I don't care. As long as he's good in that role. And I'm pretty sure he will be. I think that's the bottom line what we got to go here. And I'm pretty pumped, man, because the reason why, I kind of alluded to it before, but the reason why this is such a big deal is because all the other Fantastic Four movies, regardless of whether you like them or not, I think we can all objectively agree that maybe they're not all horrible, but none of them are that amazing. Like, I think the best one is Rise of the Silver Surfer, and that's still not like a masterpiece movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen every Fantastic Four movie except for the very original one that they kind of wanted to bury. And, so I saw the 2004 or something, 2005, 2007, Silver Surfer, and then Fan Forstick. I don't really think Multiverse of Madness counts because he's in it for like 5 minutes. But the movies themselves, they're not bad. You know what I mean? Like, I watched the three of them, and I didn't walk away saying that was the worst thing I've ever experienced, and I understand the hate. But I also wasn't like, all right, this is awesome, man, and I can't wait to see what happens next. This is freaking cool. Like when I walk out of a Marvel movie, an MCU movie, or whatever Marvel movie, I should be excited about what I saw, and I should be excited about what I'm going to see next. After I watched any of those two movies, I walked away going, okay, that was okay, or that was eh. I was not like after I watched Fantastic, I wasn't like, oh, dude, I can't wait to see what Miles Teller does next. You know what I mean? Whoa, Jamie Bell, shouldn't you be Tintin again? Like I wasn't, and that should happen. I wasn't, thinking that. I remember watching the movie and it ended, and then I turned the player off and went to sleep. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I gotta go on YouTube, and, I wasn't, like, freaking out or anything. So I think that's kind of the thing we gotta surpass here with the first MCU version of the Fantastic Four, is that this has to not be average, or, mid, as the internet calls it. I don't think that it has any, right to be, because the Fantastic Four, I've read a lot of their comics. I've seen a lot of stuff. I played the games. You're seeing it right now, Lego Marvel. The Fantastic Four is a good, like, Marvel property, right? Like, it's a good thing in Marvel. Okay, we've gotten a lot of good things from it. And to have 3 movies, maybe, again, I haven't seen the original, but the 3 movies I have seen be just average isn't good enough. Imagine watching Avengers Endgame and walking up and it was whatever. You know what I mean? Like, no, that blew my freaking mind. Because it had to. You know what I'm saying? Like, Marvel isn't just like this, casual, like, every Marvel movie has to be cool. Like, even stuff like the Marvels, or the Incredible Hulk, or, I don't know, Eternals, or Thor: The Dark World. All those movies are hated on. I don't hate any of them, really. But I think that even though those are the more quote-unquote average movie, the Marvels is more average as compared to the Winter Soldier, for example. You know what I'm saying? Or Captain Marvel 1 compared to Spider-Man No Way Home. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You shouldn't expect an average film, even though the stakes aren't crazy stupid high in the Marvels. I mean, they kind of are. If you would have seen it, you kind of know what I'm talking about. No one saw that movie. But it's good. I do think that this needs to be a home run for Marvel. Because, a lot of people are mad about Phase 4 or whatever, or Phase 5, whatever the hell it's called, whatever phase we're in now, about, it's woke, or it's bad. Yeah, there were some woke stuff. There were some bad stuff. But even the woke and bad stuff, like Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, none of those were, like, unwatchable. I don't like those shows. And I'll rewatch them when I'm doing my rewatch here again soon, but they're not unwatchable. You know what I'm saying? I think, like, nothing the MCU has ever made is just, like, complete dumpster fire trash. I want to burn it and throw it in the pit. You know what I mean? None of it is that bad. And Fantastic Four shouldn't have had that effect on people with those 3. I know there's a lot of people that like the Silver Surfer. I do too. That's my favorite one. But still, even that movie is average. It's good average, but it's still average. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this movie has to be a home run for the MCU. I think the cast is good. I think that, it has potential with the 60s, 50s, whatever, time period. I think Herbie looks pretty effing cool, the robot they have. You're probably seeing some Herbie gameplay in this video. He's in the game. But, again, that brings me back to Lego Marvel, man, because I swear, I made the Deadpool video, and then I put the game away, and then, boom, that happened on Valentine's Day, and I'm like, I got to get the game out again. Because Lego Marvel superheroes, dude, I swear to God, it's like a fortune teller. Or it's like a tarot, totui, those cards, you know what I mean? It's like a tarot card reader, where it's like, oh, yeah, in X amount of years, this will be relevant again, because back in 2013, like I said, obviously in the Deadpool video, but Disney, they don't make Marvel, they own it, but Disney didn't own Deadpool, Fantastic Four, X-Men. Now they own all that stuff, so it's crazy that A, Lego Marvel 1 even got made legally with these characters, and B, the fact that they're still in there, and we can just play this game and kind of treat it as like a big MCU project now. I mean, not the campaign, but just free roaming in New York. It's pretty freaking wild, you know what I mean? Because, like, I'm playing as Mr. Fantastic and Deadpool with Iron Man, and now in the MCU, through the multiverse, all that stuff can happen. That's pretty sick stuff, man. I'm really, really hyped about that. And I'm really hopeful that the MCU is going to go in great places. I'm not one of those fans that it was like, it was great, and then it was horrible, and now it's great again. Like, even the lows that we've been suffering, like the CGI in Quantumania was complete dog water, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. None of it is unwatchable to me. Like, I love Marvel. I always will. I'm not going to fake out and be like, well, it's dead. I hate when people are making these dumb clickbait crap like Deadpool will save the MCU or Fantastic Four will save the MCU. Like, the MCU doesn't need saving. It's not dead and gone. A lot of people that say it's dead and gone don't like comics. They just watch the movies and they they see some horror. They see MODOK looking like a baby from hell, and they're like, oh, this is stupid. This is stupid. You know what I mean? Or it's just a weird feeling. I don't even know how to like describe it. But it's really strange because I've always stuck with the MCU, and obviously I'm not biased. If something really is complete shit in the MCU, I'm going to tell you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pretend I'm, oh, all Marvel is perfect. I know I say all Star Wars is good, but all Star Wars is good and all Star Wars is perfect are two different things. I'll always love Star Wars, even though the prequels aren't the best. I'll always love Marvel, even though She-Hulk isn't the best. You know what I mean? I still watch those shows and admire the things that were good in them, even though a lot of it's pretty hard to find in that show. Still, so look, at the end of the day, I'm a Marvel fan through and through, man. I'm effing hopeful for this stuff. I'm not going to pretend to be fake and say it's dead and this X movie has to come out and save it. I don't think the MCU needs to be saved. I just think that they have to, kind of focus on what made them great in the beginning, which is no political messaging, and just please, for God's sake, make better CGI shit. For God, please, okay? For God's sake, do that. At least do that for me. Make your movies look good, for God's sake. And thankfully, Deadpool and Wolverine looks good, and the Fantastic Four. We really know nothing about it other than it's coming out next year, and we know the cast. But the cast looks good. I'm excited. And again, big takeaway here: this has to be better than just an average film, because the Fantastic Four deserves more than that. Tell me down below what you think in the comments about this casting. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? And what are you excited for this film? And what are you looking forward to? And hey, also tell me, what's your favorite Fantastic Four movie so far? Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.